It's it's sunny, but we've had a lot of weather this week. Um, and I had just finished sweeping the floor. So let's pull the tripod over because I kind of have things, because I have the phone set on a certain orientation. You guys, you guys, oh, what a morning! It's been fine. It's been fine. Just the last few minutes, I started finally getting my text out where I was checking on my friends and neighbors, and some of them that helped me with things like Jess and Dennis and Evelyn, stuff like that. Yesterday, because I decided it was okay to take phone. Uh-oh, the cable's not gonna, the phone's not at a, here we go. Okay, is long enough to reach here. So I will momentarily here. Hey, I see some names. Iris, Bernie, Beth, welcome this morning. Oh, I look a little, I'm just seeing myself in the phone. I look a little pudgy this morning. I feel a little bloated. It's been cold. I've been, just kind of hanging out yesterday, being Sabbath and all, just resting and, that thing I don't do well at, rest. I decided it was time to do such a thing. So, and the choice of foods, simple prep, storm prep. I have been eating a few more carbs. Not that that's a big thing. It is, let me change the setting so that I see everything that comes through. All messages. And then go back and do one more. Let's do this one. Okay. All right, let's try that. Yes, I have a sweater on. It's not really cold right now, but I had just run outside. That last, I got to go to the bathroom before we start. Just as a quick, there's been a lot of storms. Yes, right up until Passover, which is next month, around the 7th or 8th. So kind of as a rough guesstimate, figure after the 10th or so of next month, April. The weather will start to be more spring-like, and we won't have any more snow and ugly things. Or at least in my humble opinion, and with the wisdom given me from all the years of being out in this area and whatever else, that's generally the way it works out here. So there's that. Babs! Oh, good morning! Hi! Babs, don't travel this way yet. It's too early. Give yourself another month before you come up. It's not time yet. You can move a little north, but be careful. There were some pretty bad storms and accidents, not only in the area, but in Flagstaff. Horrible accident because of people trying to drive in winter storms, and horrible. Lots of deaths. Obviously, it must be what was going to happen, right? Because somebody greater than us has their finger on the pulse of whatever's going on in the world. But I see Sonia too. But the accidents caused a really bad fire and lots of semis and cars involved. The pile up, I don't even know how many cars. It looked like 30-ish. I don't even know, but bad. Oh, sure, you would have to go see your children first, right, Babs? You have a paid for part at the store at the shop at Stan's Auto for your rig. Don't forget that that's there. Um, Also, Tornado Alley, and yes, my son is there. And yes, it was very close to where my son is. So they're fine. I checked. But the way I checked was different because of the way that we have our relationship and boundaries. Um, I generally know that if I don't hear from him, he's probably okay. So I hadn't heard, but then I checked, and there's some part at Stan's that has your name on it, Babs, that I don't remember what it is and what it's for. I'll have to check. If you send me a text on my regular phone, I'll look it up. But I think you already paid for it. So I have a note on the beginning. I have a note around the 15th, which is now, for me to call you and remind you of it. So I'm just telling you on here. Yes, that stands. I don't know what the part is. I forgot what it is. But I think you already paid for it. Why don't you text me on my regular phone number and we'll figure that out. Like when I go in Monday, we'll figure it out. Wendy, would you like some of your dog foods this kind? Wendy's eating cat food right now. I had bought her. She's not a dog food person. She's not a dry dog food person. You know, I had her when I was eating meat, and so she gets meat. So, but I try to have this around, and she likes bird flavors. So this one has duck and stuff. Here, Wendy, come have some of this. So, because of where I'm sitting, you guys know I can't move the phone around a lot. Anyways, she was munching cat food. Let's put some of that down. All right, there we go. Okay. Sorry. Sorry. Nah, it's what's happening this morning. You guys get to visit with me like you were sitting here. You know, it's what's happening. I have a number of projects going on, but nothing like big, vital happening in the moment. And yes, I see myself again, and I'm seeing that bloated, pudgy. I had potatoes. I should probably talk about that. Hi, Robert and Nancy. Iris, I just realized that one of the decoration things I'm doing at the office included a license plate that you signed. And so it's at the office. I didn't put any minutes on the subscriber mode, so would you like me to go change that, Beth? I will. Let me scroll real quick. Is Mary here too? I didn't see to say hi to Mary. Hi, Bernie. Mi amiga. Iris. Okay, I think I got everybody's names. Donna Kay. It's warm in here now. The wood stove. Well, it was 46 inside when I woke up at 7 o'clock this morning. I woke up late. And so then I started a fire, and it took time for it to all get warm in here. And so I had coffee and ate breakfast and had coffee time with Wendy, sat and held Wendy. I sat in the rocking chair by the wood stove for a while. I should stop rubbing my eyes. Please at least 10. You prefer 20. Okay, no problem. Gotcha. Let's go switch that real quick. Whoops, wrong thing. Go back, go here, go here. Uh, let's do that. Okay, there you go. Okay, so what's going on? You probably saw I put a couple of messages on Facebook instead of on my YouTube posts. I wanted to post them over to the posts. I haven't done it. I haven't taken the time. I should stop saying I haven't had a chance. I haven't taken the time to do that yet. I also have not taken the time to post any new videos because it means I have to like watch them on the phone and pay attention, and I'm not ready yet. I'm going to, but I'm not ready yet. Ooh, I got good news on the SimplyLesa side of things, the public side of things. C6 Outdoors, yes, go look them up. C6 Outdoors has offered me one of their tents to use as long as I give them some videos. So I have to sign an agreement, which I had planned to do this weekend. But when I opened it up in PDF form on my phone, I cannot type in the blanks. I can only write with a little pen in the blanks, and it looked messy. So I sent him a message saying I am going to accept the agreement, but that I will do the work on a computer at work when I go in on Monday because I wanted the form to look neat. I also, so yes, yay. So I also have contacted the county to double check all my paperwork. Everything so far is correct with everybody that needs to have it. So it looks like the very next step for me with this cabin is to go ahead and do, and I double checked this as well, to go ahead and fill out and register my beneficiary deed for my son. My son will then not have any related costs until after my death. Because that was one of the concerns I had, was that if I put him on as a co-owner, then his income gets I'm low income enough that I have a tax exemption in Apache County. But because of that, hi Donna, hi Sonia. If my son was on as a co-owner, then they would consider his income as well, and I would either have to pay taxes or something. They would consider his income as for half the ownership amount. I just don't want him to incur any costs until it is. And so I did the extra checking, and that's the next step on all of that. Guys, yeah, please thumbs up 62. Wow. Yeah, thumbs up, please. And welcome to SimplyLesa and Simply Live with me. There have been a lot of storms here this week. It's been kind of incredible. I did put some things out on Facebook that will probably bring a little bit more activity over here as well. What do I want to tell you guys? Driving to work was incredible the other morning. I got there, it took me an hour. It was scary. It was very scary. And I say that with scary in a respectful way. Like, I didn't want to turn around and come home, but I knew to just go careful. Somebody said, "What the heck? Why did you test your brakes?" Well, I'm going to test my brakes in a clear piece of road that I can tell as best as I can doesn't have black ice. I'm going to test them before I get to a steep downhill where I might need brakes. I want to be sure that I'm going a reasonable speed to do those downhill uh, areas of 191 on the way to St. John's. So yes, I did. I did test my brakes, and I was careful, and I made it to work just fine. That was it was a whole thing. You got to respect stuff. You got to respect vehicles. You got to respect the road. I am so glad there was no traffic. Um, I was in St. John's, had driven for an hour before I saw a snowplow. So, uh, the road signs up here say that they can't guarantee that there will be police or uh, um, snowplows. It doesn't say police or snowplows. What does it say? Emergency equipment during storms and stuff. Just don't expect it. And so I'm saying, don't in this area. Don't expect it. Yes, I had to use four-wheel drive. Yes, absolutely. I actually put it in four-wheel drive before I left the driveway, because I know I have a couple of puddles. And it's a good thing I did because the puddles were full of water, and then it had snowed and rained, so it was icy, crusty stuff and water. Under the water, as it sits, becomes mud. And then the corner that I have to go through a half a mile away is the big thing. I lovingly call it the pond. Um, and because I have new neighbors, I'm trying to be respectful and not drive on their land. But the road goes through their property, and they haven't changed that. Hi, Leanna. They haven't changed. They haven't fenced or changed their where the road should be. The road should be in the easements around their property. It's not there. And so until they make that change, I get to use the road. Well, then unfortunately, yesterday there was a little bit of conversation where it's like, well, the only reason we do anything with the road is for you. You need to buy a better vehicle. I've been using the kind of vehicles I've been using for the 12, 13, 14 years, whatever it is, that I've been coming up here. So, no. And I didn't ask you to do what you're doing to the road. Most of what they've done to the road was they cut trees and stuff. You got to remember, they're not actually in the easement. The road is not in the easement. But they cut trees and stuff in order to make the roadway 16 feet wide so that they could have sheds delivered. And they can do that, but technically any landowner, if the trees are cut on their property and not in the easement, they could get sued for those trees. I doubt that will happen to them. Most of the people that own land along that roadway are absentee owners. So I'm just, giving you detail in case you live in Apache County and you run into these issues yourself. So you do not have to keep the road going through your property where it is. But if you choose to not keep it where it is your responsibility to provide access on the easement. And that's why we have easements. So that being said, there's been some awkward conversations between the neighbor and I about the road that actually crosses their property. And most recently, because he's been dragging the road during wet weather. And for me, it's becoming more challenging to make that last mile home. Because as he drags it, sometimes he's cutting down the high spots that I've been riding on. I placed my tire on a high spot on each side so that I can stay out of their tracks or ruts so that I don't get high centered. What would you like, Miss Wendy? It's getting hot. Do you want to go outside? The stove just kicked up again. Yep, that last log I put in is really hot. You want to go outdoors? Here, go ahead. Mama's going to open a window. Okay, guys. I'm opening windows because it just got hot with the stove. So I would like, as far as the road is concerned, I would like to only be driving in easements and not somewhere else, which is what's legal. I would like to find a different way out and not have to deal with the pond at all. I try really hard to consider the other people involved. Not everybody thinks like I do. So sometimes people don't consider, or they can only consider using their own mind. And if they don't have a conversation with the other person, even if they can try to have a good conversation with the other person involved, you've got to work with a conversation like that to keep it civil and everything else and not be a butthead about it. But if you could talk to the other people involved, you could solve the problems without having to spend a whole ton of money, most likely. I like to work with people. I've been here a long time. These people only been here a couple of years. I've got pictures. The road is considerably different. But it's like, I'm not faulting them, but many people out here who come out here, and I'm not speaking about them specifically, I'm talking about many newer people coming out here, have not experienced driving through 1.5 feet of water on a roadway, or having your vehicle up to the axle in mud because you got to get out, not for a doctor's appointment, because I would cancel those back in the day, because you were running out of groceries. So here's some things I want to talk about today. Part of this I want to talk about right now has to do with simple, minimalist preparation, because that's what I tend to do. Now, I'm 66 years old, okay? And in my lifetime, I've learned things that could be considered. I also will accept that I've been giving a gift with some wisdom. I don't know how that comes, but a lot of it is experience, okay? And people do use that word wisdom. And so I tend to say the wisdom that I've gathered from talking to older people, people who were in situations way before me. Hi, Joanne. I see your name. Guys, please use 3 uppercase Qs in front of your questions, topics, whatever you want me to quickly see, so I'll talk about it, okay? But it's getting hot in here because that last log I put on the fire is woohoo! Tiny cabins and large wood stoves. I probably should have put on a log that was about half that size, but it's what I had close. Okay, so let me come right back to this again. So in a minimalist preparation way, all my years of being alive and living off grid, 85-90% of my life, which I include my travel time. Lots of that travel time is off grid stuff. Whether it was being on a wolf farm in Central America, or living in an indigenous village in Central America, or living off grid as a child in Maine, or whatever, right? I mean, I've spent a lot of off grid time. So all those years of experience kind of come down to look, life as we know it isn't just going away. And yet, it is going to change. And as it changes, it's not usually a drastic change, but even if it were, for example, wars or something of that nature, like wars on our land, that hasn't happened in a long, long time. It could. It could change. Um, but find the basics that you're going to need. So, in a minimalist, stoic, my favorite kind of like philosophies and whatever are stoicism and minimalism. Aim that direction. Think about the necessities. So, first, food, clothing, shelter. Shelter from weather. Food, you can get easier if you need to ask for help. Clothing and shelter, But for example, if you're living in a vehicle, at least you've got shelter. But when something happens to it, like for example, when my engine died last on my 65th birthday, when the engine blew, the block cracked. By the way, that engine is ready to be placed into the body. I'm waiting for that to happen. We thought it was going to happen a week and a half ago, but I work in an auto shop where it is, and other things come up that have to take priority sometimes. So soon that engine will go back into the body. I wish I could afford to have the body painted before we were to put the engine back in. I don't see how that's going to happen. But I'm not saying it won't. I just can't see it. So I did look up. They do make, because I like the classic black and white of the first gen trackers. And so I want to keep it that classic black and white. I looked it up. I can get tractor paint. I've never rattle canned a vehicle ever. I know people do it. But because there is tractor paint available, I don't know. But if I decide, no, I've already decided that I'm going to take the solar panel off the hood because it delaminated. Now, I love that company. They didn't give me sponsorship. I paid full price for it. But when I remove that from the hood, it's possible that my paint will peel off with it. And I'm at least going to have to paint the hood. I talked to a guy from the area who wraps vehicles. I talked to him about it, but he said that most likely the way it's put on, the hood is going to look horrible when you take it off. I don't know, but I have to wait until this good warm days to go try to get that off. And see, the new way to put it on is to use the 3M tape. But back when I got that first gen of those solar panels from Cascadia 4x4, they didn't. It was liquid that you put down, and so it's a whole other thing. It may, and already I had some of my SimplyLesa decals on the front, and where I started, I wanted to pull them off. Where we started to pull them off, you lift them, and it's bare metal. The paint comes right off with the decal. So the paint job on that rig is not good. So something's going to have to happen with the paint. I wish I could do it ahead of time. I don't know what's gonna. But I checked because I thought about it. Tractor paint is nice and thick and would last pretty well. So I looked it up, and it does come in white, black and white. So it is possible that it could be done with tractor paint, and I'm thinking that's a good idea. I don't like the bed liner paint that I had been thinking of before, because I saw one of Camper Van Kevin's, the purple four-door tracker, and yuck, nasty, nasty, clumpy paint job. Don't like it. Don't want it. It's fine for somebody else. Don't get me wrong. Seeing it driving down the road, it's just a purple car, But you see it up close, I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want that. So that's that answer. Okay, and but anyway, so if you want to stick that in as you pray or think about my situation, or if you know somebody that's local in Apache County that does paint stuff that or body work that might be able to help me figure it out, because I've never done it, but I'm on a budget, y'all know, and my higher priority right now is getting this back patio enclosed, which we've already started. We were going to go this afternoon and pick up supplies. A friend was going to use their pickup truck and take me, and we were going to go get supplies. We have decided to postpone that until next Sunday, because so next Sunday's live will be short. But the reason, and I mean short time wise, and the reason we did that was because of so many accidents, slippery roads, problems with, I still have snow on the ground. You see that white stuff outside the window right there? Still snow on the ground. So, not sure exactly how many inches I had in the last few days, but it's been a lot. And then it's snowed, then sleet, then rain, then cold, then the wind blowing. So I'm just going to stay home today. I've been doing some little projects around the house. I'm organizing stuff that's been sitting around. Inside, I have a few clothes that'll go to a thrift store, along with some stuff from the shop. Somebody did call me last night about their interest in the Weya solar kit. Hopefully that pans out. Pray about that, please. Or whatever you do. You don't have to be a praying person to be here. But that helped me sleep better, that there's the possibility of that going on to a better home, because it's big. Not big in a regular sense, but in my small minimalist life, having 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 boxes of supplies is like a fourth, a fifth of my space. And it's like, I don't want it out in the weather, but geez, it's in my way. So I'm sleeping with it at the foot of the bed, and I kicked the box last night. So, those kinds of things. But I'm going through things. I'm beginning to go through, haven't showed you this yet, beginning to go through my tools. If I turn the camera around, let's see if I can show you this. Yes, that's where I slept last night. That's my bed. Okay, so the blue bag is my dirty clothes. I will be doing some laundry by hand this afternoon because it's kind of sunny and I can get away with it. This I need to take outside and put in the outdoor storage. It's my sunshade for the car. This, though, this is my new, can I turn it around? It has wheels on it, but I'm trying to be careful here. It's new and I don't want to scratch it up either, right? It's my new toolbox. So I am beginning, I'm right in front of y'all, I'm beginning to learn how to disconnect the boxes so that I can then start to organize my tools. Okay? And then this goes back on here. And then you have to push that down and click it. Okay. And it has wheels. Anyway, so I got that finally. So this afternoon I'll be... Okay, let me get you back over here. This afternoon, that's the two big projects I'm working on this afternoon are some more tool organization into the new toolbox and doing my laundry, which I'll do right after we finish. And then, oh, and Beth, I don't think I put that into my store yet. I just got it. I was wanting to... It is plastic, okay? But it's also weatherproof. So if it stayed on the back patio, it probably could be okay. I'm trying to decide where it's going to live, but the part on the bottom is nice and deep for putting all those power tools and stuff like that. Anyway, hey Bonnie. So I'll be doing laundry, starting it as soon as we finish up here while there's some sunshine. Look, if only a couple of pairs of underwear get dry, it's okay with me. But at least I'll have them washed, because getting out and getting to the laundromat, not happening today. Not that I couldn't. I'm not going to. There's no point. And then because I'm back and forth to the wood pile, because I don't have much wood on the front patio, front porch right now, I already started moving my cement blocks that are my racks for the wood into the location where I've been wanting them. So I started doing that probably Friday night, or I don't remember when I started. So I'll be working on more of that as I bring wood up here for the house. Some of what I've got out there is ready to be split. So as it gets moved where I want it, I'll split it first, so they're smaller pieces. So, well, I'm saying that right now. That's what I'm planning to do. Sometimes you just got to do it. And before the weather gets too warm, where I'll start to have trouble with the rats and then the snakes that follow the rats, I don't want to get too close to them. So I'm trying to just get that where it's easier to move it. And I'll take my Sawzall out this afternoon when I go to mess around. There's a branch of a tree that I'm trying to get out of the way. And I asked somebody to do it a couple of months ago, but it didn't get done yet. So I'll just take the Sawzall when I go out, and I'll try to cut that. Or at least trim at it so that it's out of my way more. And then moving the cement blocks. Out here, if you put... That is what it is, Beth. I don't think I put it in my store, but if they go to my store first and then get it, that would be cool. Anyway, out here, if you stack 2 cement blocks high and then put your water tank on top of that, or your wood piles on top of that, it helps to keep the rats under control. That doesn't mean they're never going to be there. It just means that the rats are not happy with the wind and the weather, and they'll go somewhere else. And there's plenty of other places for the rats to go, or the rodents to go. So I just encourage them to not want to be there wherever I'm doing things. I've also got 2 water tanks here that I need more block so that I can get those up in the air. I've got to decide exactly where I want them. I just want the gutters from the roof to fill those. And so that's a thing. So that's cool. Thank you, Beth. I appreciate you so much, Beth. You do so much of that stuff. I need to give you some access to some things to help me out too. Someday I'll talk to you about it. Right now, between work and weather, I'm not as tired. You guys can probably tell that. I'm not as tired as I was, say, a month ago, because now when I come home at night, I can get near my bed. I can fix a meal. I'm not even going to show you the kitchenette, right? But because it's not the finished kitchenette, I've got a make do situation that's working. It's not perfect. I have to move three things to do one thing, and yet I'm okay. So, the supply run we were going to do today was to get stuff to finish, enough supplies to finish working on the patio. Um, Things that are too long for me to pick up with my car. So, that will happen next Sunday instead of this Sunday. And that's because I could have let somebody else just go pick things up for me, pay for it online, and just have them pick it up. But we decided to let me go. And then if I decide to grab something else, I can. Like if I decide to grab another aluminum trash can for storage, I'll just do it, right? But I don't know what I'm going to. I mean, I know the big things. I've got to get two 12-foot long 2x6s, and I need one 12-foot long 26-inch wide piece of tin. That won't fit in my car at all. So we're going to at least get that. May get some more cement blocks so I can get these water tanks up. Spring projects will be happening soon. So, yeah. Someday, I'm not ready for it yet, but you know, the entry gate someday, the barbed wire for the fencing along the road frontage. Um, Stuff like that. I don't know what else to say right now. Wendy's outside, just walking around the driveway, sitting in the sun. She slept all day yesterday and all last night. She didn't get up. She went to the bathroom a couple of times. She slept, just slept. So, okay, so minimalist preparation. Isn't that what I said the title was for this? I don't think I can see the title. No, I can't. Anyway, minimalist preparation, though, especially since I've been an what do they call, what did they used to call me? Since I've been a ultra minimalist. What's the word? I forgot. Anyway, um, I don't like stuff. I really don't. But then there's needs you have depending on your situation. And, you know, back before I had the wood stove running, my only heat source was these candles. And I have the three candelier one as well. But I was grateful to have those, you know, because I needed heat. So, yes, Sonia, prayers and patience and just keep plugging. So, I finally got a vintage sterno stove, two burners. Um, I'm using alcohol in them. Yes, I had a couple of cans of sterno. The plan is that the sterno cans, which are now no longer sterno, I'm gonna put a chore girl um, scrubber, metal scratcher, dishwasher and scratcher thing inside the cans, and then I'm gonna put. I don't have any of the little tiny fine hardware cloth. That's what you would put on the very top of it. But anyways, and then I'm just using my regular alcohol to use that stove. But I can make a larger pot of coffee, and I can use um, the little egg fry pan, which I made one English muffin this week, sourdough, and I made I made just a little pan bread the other night. Um, so, in a minimalist preparation kind of thing, have a way that you can cook because you're going to want to cook. It something about having hot things, especially hot liquids like soups. Um, it's comfort food and it helps when you're majorly stressed. So prep yourself to have basics. Now, years ago, I had horrible food allergies, which have changed. Okay. But I remember getting an idea that I should start having a lot of salt here. And I was like, why? At that point, I wasn't even eating salt. And I was like, oh, okay, makes sense. You know, you could salt meat and you can use it to wash clothes and you can do things with salt. So, okay. So I just started buying extra salt and just putting it away. Now, I was smart and I didn't buy necessarily iodized salt. I bought rock salt like you'd use for making ice cream or something, or you'd use on a walkway, right? So I have rock salt and Himalayan salt, and I have all kinds of different salts. But salt's a good thing to have. So is borax and baking soda and cream of tartar and coffee. Now, I have decided, now that I'm healthier, that it's okay sometimes to even have sugar. So, not against white sugar being in the storage. I'm not eating it very often, but I use it for some things. By the way, sugar and dish soap will get oil and grease stains like mechanic stains off your hands. Really good. Um, anyway, so yeah, sugar, flour. Now, because I had such horrible allergies and I know that my autoimmune is a thing, I chose to order my flour off Amazon and I'm having it imported from Europe. And so I'm buying jovial and corn flour. I don't have much of it here, but I have some. Once I wasn't allergic to milk anymore, then I went ahead and got some dry whole milk. Make sure you don't do so much of the low fat stuff. Now somebody's going to make some troll is going to make some comment about your fat and why would you not do low fat? Because low fat does not feed your brain cells. Okay? We need what the whole of the thing, whatever it is. So some dry whole milk, butter, which you can then turn into ghee, which will stay on the shelf for years and years and years. Cinnamon, chocolate. I don't have a problem with it being Hershey's chocolate, okay? I really don't. But the powdered, you can mix it with things to have something that's treat-like. Honey, because honey's a medicine. You cut yourself, you put honey on it, or pine pitch. I happen to have pinyons at my property, and the pine pitch will heal it faster than the honey will. But they're both good sealing things that can do stuff. So, all of these items, molasses, a good thing to keep a jar of molasses. If it's opened, it will ferment over time in the heat. That is true. So, keep an eye on it. Don't keep it for 12 years, But molasses and white sugar together make brown sugar if you're into like that kind of baking. I'm not. But molasses with a sourdough biscuit or a piece of pan bread gives you some minerals and things that you wouldn't get in another way. Molasses is part of the sugar making process. So I'm just saying, it has stuff in it that's good. So I'm trying to get back to not having so much plastic in my life. So I went and got out Yes, I have stone floors on my patio. If you drop a glass jar, it's gonna break. So for a little while when I was struggling with my MS, by the way, March is MS month, you'll see notes around because technically that's the autoimmune I was diagnosed with. But um, uh, I'm starting to use my jars again, and I'm not a fan of this kind of jars with these screw-on lids, okay? I want Wex jars with the glass lids and the little rubbers. I grew up with old-fashioned ball jars that had glass lids and the rubber thing. But anyway, butter, because I haven't made ghee. I haven't wanted to, haven't had time. I know that Catherine Cook learned from me about making ghee and she does it more. She'll probably make a comment. It's all good. But uh, but because I can have butter again. Now also because butter gives you another flavor. So with your sourdough, you can make cinnamon rolls, you can make croissants, you anything. The thing with sourdough is not complicated, people. Okay, I also, now I don't have any tallow today, but I will purify. You guys watched me make dirty tallow one time. I make dirty tallow, it's no big deal. But when I want to keep it a long time and I want the tallow to be white in the jar because it lasts a long, long time if you've got it good and clean and white, um, then I will do the process of slow with water and or with just water or with water and salt and make a batch, let it cool down, scrape the crap off the bottom of it, put it back in the pot for another few hours to with water to do it again. You do that 3 or 4 times and it's very clean and it'll keep for years. So normally I would have both butter and tallow. I would probably have butter, tallow, and ghee. The plan is to eventually use my thermal pot and some pint jars to go back to making yogurt again. I'm not doing that currently, but that will be happening someday because in the summer, my refrigeration will be different. Oh, yeah, I got to tell you about my cooler. But the refrigeration will be different again as the temperature warms up again. And so yogurt won't spoil, neither will leche agria, which is basically sour milk, which then turns into queso fresco, which then, if you, depending on what you do to it, turns into cheese for longer storage. And then you wax the cheese if you want to keep it a long, long time. Anyway, but all these things, kind of minor but basic. So keep stuff basic, okay? And so here's my, right here beside the coffee pot, my baking soda, but I use this from brushing my teeth, okay? And I use, don't forget to get peroxide. Okay, some people think peroxide's horrible. Well, fine, whatever, you do you, okay? Boiling water will do similar thing. Okay, boiling or boiled and then cooled water will do similar things to peroxide as well. It won't bubble the same, but you know, you do you. You do what works for you. But keep it simple. Do basics. So the other day I said, okay, it's time to try eggs again because eggs have been making me just go. I look at them and I go, I don't want them to make me, you know. I brought some eggs home, so I have a dozen eggs here. I took some of, I cannot use most of the commercial products available in the world. We'll just say that. Because there's corn in lots of everything. So I made some hot chocolate mix because I wanted hot chocolate the other day. This recipe is the bomb. It's just not too sweet, not too whatever. Whole, dry, whole powdered milk. Hershey's chocolate powder which I got from Dollar General, like $3, whatever it was. Okay, so the milk I got was from Walmart last month or 2 months ago, whenever I went that time. It probably was $13. It might not have been that much. You could use goat milk if you can't use regular milk. I'm finding, though, that I do better with cow's milk, even if it's not the perfect, right, raw, whatever. But, and then a little bit of powdered sugar. Do you know what powdered sugar is, people? Keep it simple. White sugar that you put through a blender is powdered sugar. So you make your own powdered sugar. Don't make your own powdered sugar. I don't care. I care for Lesa that the things I have haven't been on too many machines, because it seems like whoever has touched stuff, their energy goes in it, the machine's energy goes in it, and if they ran something across the machine first that I'm allergic to, I'm going to have trouble. This is good. I need to make one for at the shop so that if somebody wants hot chocolate. I just was trying to, I keep trying to make things for the shop that are in individual serving size packets so that we don't have to deal with people dipping a spoon or something. Because I'm not going to be watching everybody every minute of the day, but this is good. This is really good. I want to get away from using so many of the Folgers red coffee cans for canisters, but for a while that's what I've been using because they were free. When somebody had a bunch, they would just give me a bag full, and that was great. And it's great for things like screws and stuff, that hardware, stuff like that. But for food, I would rather have enamel. Y'all know I'm big on enamel. Enamel doesn't have to be blue. I actually like the white stuff a little better. Yeah, sometimes you drop them and they ding. It's glass on steel. They're lightweight. Rodents can't get in them. I can put this bowl on any of my stoves with I think I can do it with this handle. I have, maybe not in my wish list, but in my shopping list on Amazon, I have a new camping handle somewhere, because as I remember with this bowl, this handle is an awkward angle, and some of the other, and like this one's aluminum, but there's titanium handles. This was probably a Coghlan's, I don't remember. This is a titanium Sea to Summit spoon. I have 2 of these. Greg gave me this. This one is the one I actually hiked on the Appalachian Trail with in 2011. You can see I've opened cans with it. It's dinged up, but love these. I just love them, and they're long handles. Anyways, I can use this as a wok. I can cook in this. That's one of the things I love about enamel. Yeah, you can ding them up. Well, don't ding them up if you don't want them dinged up. And if they get dinged up, don't worry about it. Or when like these cups get too bad, then there'll be scoops for cat food or something. Or they'll start a plant. I don't know. But I want to switch and have a titanium handle like this with a little different angle to it. But anyways, I still have it. Okay? And so, yes, Nido is a Nido Fortificado. Bertie will know that well. It's a thing, but I don't want all that fortified, and I want it cheap because I'm always on a budget. So this one from Walmart I chose to buy because ingredients list: dry whole milk, vitamin A, palmate, and vitamin D. Do I want the vitamin A, the palmate, and the vitamin D? No. Am I using it every day? No. And palmate comes from the palm tree, like palm oil. And if you get real palm oil, it's not even a problem. It's good stuff. So my goal eventually is to, as in I didn't even wash this well. I see blueberry stains on it, but I had these. They don't leak. I was going to wash it, and then I went, you know what? I want to stop using the plastic. So I have started. I have this little lunchbox I've had for a long time. I wish I had bought more of them because they're hard to find. It was Arctic Zone, and it folds all up into itself. Little tiny nothing of a, but it works. Anyways, stirring spoons. These spoons are Sea to Summit. Whoops. Where is it? Sea to Summit. Ultra lightweight. It hasn't focused yet. Ultra lightweight hiking long spoons. Okay. Now I'm looking at a set from Vargo, my little tiny stoves that fold up so small, that have a real fork on one end and the spoon on the other. And I'm saying a set. I'm not really looking at a set, but I'd like titanium chopsticks as well. I would love the Snow Peak ones because the Snow Peak ones unscrew and are half the size of chopsticks, but the part that goes in your mouth is bamboo, I think. Anyways, Vargo makes this stove that you've seen me cook on so much, right? Here's the label on my well-used. I don't see it focusing. Yeah, I don't think you can see it. It's so well used. Vargo. But I use this all the freaking time. It's wonderful. That's why it's the color changes when the heat gets on it. And I never needed to heat the whole thing. I've only used it with wood or charcoal once. Okay? Because it's made for wood or charcoal or stoves. I've used all kinds of things. I use these when I'm traveling. This needs to be washed. Yes, it's dirty. And it has a little case. And so when I'm traveling in the tracker, you see me use these more than anything else. And the new Sterno stove I got for the cabin is not going to go in the tracker. Okay. Because I was using these and I decided I'm ready to get rid of the plastic again, I need to get a set of half size. I need to measure a couple things first. Okay. And then I'll put them in my wish list as well, because maybe one of you guys could get to it before I do. I'm trying to get the lumber for the back patio before I get the jars. But for right now, I'm putting raw hamburger in a jar, sticking it in my little lunch bag with another jar that has blueberries and yogurt or sour cream, depending on what I'm able to find, that has limited ingredients. Okay? And I'm not ready to make yogurt yet, but soon. So I'm having one jar with my hamburger for lunch and another jar with blueberries and yogurt or whatever for breakfast. And they're in my little lunch bag that I'm taking to work. And then I haven't got Wendy where I want her with her food right now. I want her on raw food, but I want also the option for having some good quality dry something, but I need her to be able to eat both things at different times. And she still would rather have a real piece of meat with a bone than, which I don't blame her, but I'm at work, so it's a thing. But anyway, so I'm beginning to do this. So I had already said, I'm not even gonna like really wash these up good. As much as I love them because they don't leak, I am taking them to the thrift store. Well, I'll probably wash that blueberry juice off and then take them to the thrift store. But these are going bye-bye. And so the Folgers cans, the big coffee cans, the plastic ones that I was using as canisters for the last 2 years, I'm going to be replacing those with the enamel canisters. I'm hunting for. Anybody see something really cool and, whatever. But I'm hunting for. I need them to be about this size. Well, regular kitchen canister size. But not too tall. I don't want them too tall. These spoons are about 9 inches. Yeah, about a 9 inch canister is about as tall as I'm willing to go. Yes, coconut milk powder will work instead of. I'm finding that I don't do as good with coconut milk as I thought I did back in the day. So now that my allergies have changed and my body is getting healthier, I have to watch how many carbs I have. I really do have to watch that. But my point being, when you're doing minimalist traveling, prep, stuff like that, make sure you got enough, whatever your fuel is, to stay warm or to cook, or both. Okay. And so, some people are like, wow, you hoard wood. Well, sort of, kind of, but why? Why is that a problem? That's not hoarding. That's being prepared, because you never know when something's going to happen. And I both cook and heat with wood as well as other stuff. So, like, when I can get yellow heat for my alcohol stoves in a 6 pack at Walmart during the winter, you can get a 6 pack for no, you can get a 4 pack for $4.99, something like I forgot. Cheap. Anyways, but I'm paying about $2 a bottle for these. A bottle lasts about a week. It's not horrible, but I can't do propane, or probably still can't do propane. No, Mary, I haven't tested it. Oh, hi, Lesa. But I make sure that I buy extra when it's cheap. And then I keep that insulated, so because it'll evaporate if air gets to it. So it's sealed. But if it's sealed and then, it expands and expands and expands somewhere. So I make sure it's in an insulated environment where I store it. But just have the basics for something. Now, for example, what I ate last night for supper, which probably is why I'm a little bloated, okay, is it was not a whole potato. I actually had dehydrated, what are the hash brown potatoes in the little carton? Because there's only 3 ingredients in them. And I was like, just for emergencies, I'm putting those away. And when I was coming home the other night, I had 2 packs of hamburger in the drawer in my new cooler. We're going to talk about that. And a dozen eggs with me. And I was like, it's okay. I know that when I was able to, I bought a bunch of these shredded hash brown potatoes that were minimal ingredients, and I put them in storage. I also bought a 5 pack of chicken ramen and put in storage. There is nothing in the ingredients list I'm allergic to on those two. I knew I didn't want to eat them unless I was really hungry. So last night I wanted something different. I didn't have a potato sitting here. No, I don't have my air dryer set up and running right now. But even in the winter, I can freeze dry stuff if I will put it out in the shower house and hang that air dryer zippered bag up, and I just keep an eye on stuff. I can keep dehydrating things often. I did some squash and onions and lemons last season, and they're fine. They're absolutely fine. They're in baggies because I didn't have any other storage thing in the moment and was dealing with budget, in a storage container that is insulated. Some of my storage containers are aluminum trash cans. So if you come to my house and you see a trash can, don't put trash in it. Ask me first because it's probably not trash. Anyway, I took old yoga mats and Reflectix. So Reflectix first, then a yoga mat, and then I do the same thing to the lid. And then it's insulated and it can keep things in with less temperature change, which is useful. So the plan is to have herbs and um, some fruits and vegetables like, well, fruits and fruits that are vegetables, like salsa ingredients or medicinal herbs. Rosemary, I'll grow things like rosemary and chives and sage and stuff like that. Once that gets growing, then I will dehydrate things to keep again for both medicine and whatever else. So, but I'm saying in a minimalist way, keep the basics so you can have something. So, what if I'm bloated a day because I ate a dehydrated potato that I didn't make? I'll be making them again because life is starting to get easier, simpler. I've been able to work, drive horribly bad roads recently, eat well, not have to run when the weather's horribly bad to the store. I've been able to keep enough stock here to be okay. That's what we're trying to do. So now, let me show you this morning's sourdough. Yeah, plastic again. That'll disappear at some point. It's just it takes time sometimes. So, yesterday there was a little bit of sourdough in the bottom, not much. I added water, honey, and flour. Used my bamboo chopstick. It's bubbly. It could use another couple of spoons of flour, but it's fine. Won't hurt anything. It could sit right here. If I want to make a pancake later, I could just pour some of this in a fry pan and make a pancake. No big deal. The sourdough. People will argue over this, so be prepared for trolls arguing, but the truth is, it doesn't have to be complicated. It's flour and water that you let sit with a loose cover or linen or cheesecloth or cotton or something to keep the bugs out of it, right? And you let it sit where the fermentation can start naturally. It will start with whatever the natural fermentation is in the air where you live. That's what you want anyways, because you need that to keep healthy gut bugs for where you live. Okay? And so flour and water, let it sit until it's good and bubbly. Add some more flour every once in a while. You do not have to keep it on a schedule. Seriously, think about this. When people were coming across the United States in those covered wagons and stuff, there wasn't yeast to buy. This is how you did it. Or you put a jar of, you put raisins or fruit or potatoes in a jar with water, and you waited until it got all bubbly, and then you added stuff to it to make bread dough. Cowboys, they didn't use a scale to check. They did whatever they needed to do. Of course, a lot of their utensils were enamel spoons and stuff like that, or a stick. Bannock bread was basically, you did this a little thicker. Whatever stick you stirred it with would have the stuff on it, and if it was thick enough, you'd wind it up and stick it over the fire. That's bannock bread. I mean, this is not rocket science, people. This is making sure you have as much live food as you can get in you with the bacteria that comes from where you're at, so that bacteria can help you have the healthiest gut bugs you can have so you can stay alive. And the older people in tribal communities were the ones who would get the knowledge of which plant, which thing was healthy and healing. And okay, sometimes it was a medicine person. They usually were somebody who had a mental illness or an autoimmune disease or something, because they learned it for themselves. They figured out how to do these things. Anyway, so early in the morning, the older person wakes up first. They make the big drink for the tribe, the hot drink, puts on the soup, whatever it is they're doing. It's all about medicine to keep everybody healthy and alive. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You don't have to go through a bunch of stuff for it to be right. Right by whose view? Okay? Right is all relative. So, this past week, playing with my sourdough, okay, I kept this bowl, which is dirty from my eating my breakfast, okay. But the other day it was clean. I put some of my end corn flour in this bowl. And then I made a hole in the middle, like a well, and I poured sourdough into it. And then I used my chopstick and kind of, I would have used I don't even care. I would have used my titanium spoon. I don't care. I'm just going to use whatever. Use your fingers. I don't care. But, and then, because this bowl fits on this really well, I just stirred the stuff up, put this on it, and went to work. Okay? And I came home, and it was all risen and bubbly, and I squished it down and made it into a shape and stuck it in. Okay, one day I stuck a round clump, flattened it, stuck it in here, and I put not this one, but the hot red tea kettle on top, because the tea kettle is bigger, right? On top of it. The hot tea kettle turned this little pan into an oven. And before I left for work, I flipped it, and I came home and I had an English muffin. That's how simple sourdough is. Because, come on, it was survival food, people. This wasn't, you got to do it right or it won't work. So, wooden spoons are good. I prefer wooden spoons. In Arizona, wooden spoons and wood get kind of funky kind of quick. So I keep my bamboo chopsticks around. I don't have a lot of wooden spoons. I have more stainless steel and titanium right now. But when you're you're going to use a knife to cut it anyways. So no, I'm not saying anything about your comments, Beth. I understand you, Beth, that you're trying to help people have good knowledge too. It's not about that. I'm just saying, guys, keep it simple. You want to make a scone? Do the same thing I did. If you're making one, now if I'm making for a whole group of people, I'm using a bigger bowl, okay? But you make it for one, put some flour in the bowl, make a hole in the middle, pour some of your sourdough in there, mix it until it looks like a clump. Don't knead it. Just put a lid on it, walk away from it. Tomorrow morning, come back and look at it and decide what you're going to do with it next, okay? But that's how I'm making one English muffin at a time, right? Here's another thing. If you've got a lot of eggs and you want to preserve your eggs, but preserving eggs is a thing. I don't want to do water glassed eggs. I don't want to keep that around. I don't want to have to protect it. I don't want to have to, yawn. Different things for different people. But take your bowl of flour. Use a little bit of your sourdough if you want to. Doesn't matter. You can or you cannot. Put a bunch of egg yolks right in the middle of that well of flour. Bunch of egg yolks. And then just start stirring and stirring until you get enough flour in it that it's a little stiff. And then start rolling it out and cutting shapes. It's pasta. Put it in your air dryer in Arizona. Okay? It's dry here in Arizona. It's not going to work the same during monsoon season. You have to watch it more. But the point is, you got pasta. You got noodles. They're egg noodles. But it's a good way to keep the eggs without having to, like, do something else. And then you have something that you could put in your vehicle and travel with you. Or you want to go to another country and you want some of your own food with you, take a small container. Nobody's going to care because it's not fussy. Yes, Beth, it's not rocket science. Not fuss. Don't sweat the small stuff, right? Yeah, exactly. But I am trying to get away from the plastic. And I mean, I bought a bunch of Ziploc bags not long ago. I've been using them, but recently it's really getting on my nerves. I just don't want to do this. And it's trash and it's not healthy and good for us in the long term. Now, when I was hiking on the Appalachian Trail, it is true. And if I was hiking again, a long distance hike, I most likely would do this again, most likely, unless I could come up with a different solution. But quart-size freezer bags, whether they're Ziploc, name brand, or doesn't matter if they're name brand or not, okay? You can cook in these. So you put some of those noodles you just made with your I have too many eggs. Put a little bit of hamburger rocks that you dehydrated. Put a little bit of milk powder. I don't know what else right now. I'm just making this up. A little bit of seasoning, some salt and pepper, some salt. Maybe some chives would be good, or onion if you like onion. Onion's more of a medicine, so to me chives is a little easier on our stomach, so I would say chives, not whatever. Put some of that in here, and then when you're ready to eat it, you open it up, stick it in your beanie hat, or make a little thing out of Reflectix and tape that you can set this in so that it'll stay hot for a little while. Or wrap it in a towel, okay? Pour your boiling water in it. Close it up. Leave airspace, okay? So say it's got food in it. Okay? Don't blow in it like that, but leave some air in it so it's got some space, okay? And then stick it in your beanie hat. Make sure it's sealed so that it won't leak. And then stand it upright. If you get the ones with the little bottom on them, that's even better, right? And then just wait 15, 20 minutes. And then use your nice long-handled spoon, right? To eat out of it. And then you don't have dishes. That's, I did that when I was hiking on the AT. If I was hiking again, I'd do something similar. I would not do the silicone. I would not. Now, I might use my, I'm saying I won't do the silicone. There's one exception. I have one Sea to Summit somewhere, silicone coffee mug. If I was hiking, I would probably take that with me. But you could put this in your rice cooker in the outside thing of the rice cooker. You heat up the water, boil the stuff. But you get the, yeah. Yes, Beth. Those reusable Ziplocs, zipper bags that are silicone, I don't want to wash them. That's part of it. Okay, I just don't want to wash them. That's part of it. That's a big part of it. I'm just like everybody else. I don't want to do all that work if I don't have to. Why do I want to do that? You could also, if you had one of these bags with you, just set it down in the back. But right now, I'm loving using the jars, or I made soup in my coffee mug the other day with hot water and stuff. So I'm just saying, this is how. That's minimalist preparation. Make sure your gas tank's full before you come home, because it might be a while before you can get out. I always make sure that, I have my tires checked for air periodically. I make sure my spare's in good shape. Um, I've been off and on struggling with my little solar things because my older kits that I've had for a number of years, some of them were failing. Well, this one's not failing. This one again. This one's not failing. The sun got to the solar panel. See the blinkly blink? But it's a charge through. And because it's a charge through system, it charges whatever's plugged into it, which happens to be the phone we're talking on, as well as I'm recharging a light at the same time. I don't know how I'm going to power the speaker part of my driveway alarms with what I currently have. I'm trying to determine, because there is a 110 outlet on this set. But if the solar isn't charging or this is not going off, it won't turn that on and off by itself. And I can't make it stay on. Does that make sense? I'm pretty sure it makes sense. I might have to do something like a little power strip that has an on-off button or something. That might do it, because the power strip would look like it's on 24/7, even if this isn't doing anything. So that might be the solution. I haven't spent much time trying to figure it out. I got a solar panel to run my game camera. That's up and working. I need to eventually pull the little SD card and take it to work or something and look at the pictures on it, see how that's maneuvering. But I finally got the solar panel on the game camera running. That's a little security thing. If there were any problems, I could go look at the pictures and see, or if I wondered what animal was bothering the kids, the fur babies. But yeah, it's sort of minimalist preparation is sort of like, what would you take when you go camping? Do you have that with you all the time? Now, what you would take when you go camping for a week or a weekend might be a different amount of stuff than you would need for 2 or 3 days. But one of the things I love about overlanding and overlanding vehicles is that you generally outfit your vehicle with enough power and or supplies that you can be out in the wilderness. In the United States, it's not exactly the wilderness, but you get my drift. You can be gone from places where there are stores and stuff at least 2 weeks. And some of us plan for more like a month. What I encourage people in our local area to do is at least have 3 days worth of stuff in your car. Have a jug, a gallon of water. In the overlanding world, it's more of a standard that you take with you enough water to fill your radiator one time. That's the generalization for how much water you need in your rig. Because if you got stranded and you got a hole in your radiator, if you don't have enough water to keep putting in it to get you out of your emergency situation, that could be a problem. So as a generalization, having enough water that could fill your radiator is a guideline when you're building an overland rig. So, yeah, I'd like to take quite a bit of water with me, but when I had the tracker on the road the last time, I had my, I saw that bet. I saw, I had my water port, it was 4 gallons, and then I also had my other um, close to 4 gallons. It's a 4 gallon jerry can, the tan plastic one that I have. I couldn't get the blue one when I got that. But those two, my radiator takes 4 gallons of water. So I had double what I needed, but it was really useful to have it that way. Plus, I always carried a collapsible plastic shower bag with a thermometer on it. And the reason is I have burned myself with a solar shower before. They can get really, really, really hot. But a Harbor Freight driveway alarm. I don't know about that one. I had bought driveway alarms for someone before that were completely solar, and I loved them, but the person hated them. And then I saw the owls, and I didn't even think about what that alarm took for power. And so that's my bad. I put it in my wish list, and probably Robert and Nancy bought it for me. Somebody did. But um yeah, so I suggest in this Apache County area, or if you're a vehicle dweller, SUVer, a van lifer, have at least a gallon of water in your vehicle, even if you're only running to the grocery store. Okay, have a gallon of water. It doesn't have to be fancy water, just a gallon of water. Okay, um, you might not need to drink it, but if you are hard up, you're going to drink anything. If people are dying, they'll drink their own urine. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Have a gallon of water, have a few basic tools. I'm redoing my few basic tools, but you're going to need some sockets that fit your car. You're going to need some wrenches that fit your car. Might not be the one who uses them, but you're going to need them. You need the jack and the stuff to change a tire. You're going to need, whether you have a donut in your car, newer cars don't even have spare tires, or a good spare tire. Have a tire, okay, or something. If you can't do anything else, let's just put it this way. I'm still waiting to get a Vevor tire inflator. I have my Black & Decker one that works with my drill, okay? But you're going to need a tire inflator that actually works, not the cheapest $4 one from Harbor Freight that will only blow up your kid's uh, uh, cheap ball. Okay, you need one that will do tires. So you might not be the one using it. As a last resort, do not use slime unless you have no other way to get air in a tire to get to safety. Slime ruins your tire. If you use slime and it is in your emergency kit, you will be buying a new tire. Just know that, okay? So, um, uh, so, but have a way that somebody can help you if you can't do it yourself. Have the tire patch repair kit where you can plug a tire, even if you're not the one who's going to actually do it. I don't think I've actually ever plugged a tire myself, but I have the kit. I've always had the kit in my car, and I've had people come and have to do it for me. Um, they just happened to come when the tire was flat. They took it off and they went, "Oh, do you have one of those things?" So, being prepared that way, especially because I teach overlanding stuff, budget, minimalist overlanding, when I do Overland Expo family stuff. I need to get into contact with them. It appears I might be able to do Overland Expo West in Flagstaff. I don't know in what capacity, but some of the Harbor Freight, Lesa, I just see your comment about the Harbor Freight one. Harbor Freight ones can be good, but the little tiny yellow one, I have had too many problems with those, and they really didn't like work well. If you got a good one, good on you. I don't have a problem with that. I'm just saying, in a general sense, I would get a better quality one. But then I went to Baja and did parts of the Baja Divide Trail, and I don't. You can't. Well, you can. You shouldn't air down tracker tires very far. They don't have much air in them to start with. And if you take them down the way you would take down a big Ford F450 pickup truck, or a Stevenson truck, you'll pop the bead on the tire. So in my opinion, okay, airing tires up and down is different for me with a lightweight tracker than it is for many other vehicles. Just let me say that first. But having been in some very rural parts of the world with different vehicles, I want a good air compressor for my tires, air compressor that is going to be able to manage my vehicle. And so, okay, I've said a lot about that. But you want some of these basic things, and then you want a basic kitchen stuff that can get you by for a couple, 3 days. Okay, Wendy's at the door. Come on in, Miss Wendy. You've been having fun. I've been watching you running in the sunshine. I know. I've been watching you. You were running around in the sunshine, weren't you? You want to say hi to Peepoos? Let me turn it around. There you are. She says, I know when I come in and it's muddy, I get on my towel first. There you guys go. You get to see her for a few minutes. Let's, whoop, up. That's enough of that. So, yeah, have enough kitchen stuff to get you a couple of emergency meals in your vehicle, okay? I don't care how you pack it. If you're a van lifer or a nomad or whatever, you're going to pack it differently because you live in your vehicle. But prep your vehicle as if you had to live in it for an emergency, because that's what could happen if you live in Apache County and you got on the road headed to Flagstaff and didn't know a snowstorm was coming. So, what, sweetheart? Do you eat your treats? You want one of these? Guys, I gotta get Wendy some. I need to put them back into the wish list. Wendy needs some more duck jerky. She hasn't had duck jerky in a week. She's having these today. Come here, baby. But she didn't have any duck jerky, and she misses it. I've noticed that's what she's asking for lately, and I don't have it. Anyway, so then, like I said, have some basics. If you're a coffee drinker, have some coffee with you. Little instant sticks. You can go expensive and have the Starbucks or somebody else's. You could have, okay, Babs, love you. Try to remember and text me because I might forget. I don't want to forget. Maybe have instant sticks with you that you can, because the instant sticks, by the way, you can get them for $1 a pack at Dollar General or Walmart, and you can get decaf ones or if you're a decaf person. But what I'm saying is those instant sticks, you can mix those with cold water if you have to. And if you're a coffee drinker and you're stressed out and you just need to do something and you want your cup of coffee, you could drink a cold cup of coffee if you have to. Okay. And so you can do that. You can do these ones, which I've been having as my kind of emergency for, emergency, quick, easy for a while. They're like tea bags. They're just coffee bags like a tea bag, right? Have a few of those. If you have to make your little hot chocolate mix, put it in some container. You know what makes good, what, baby? I don't have any more. We don't have any. They're all gone. Come. You want to sit with Mama? You want to come up? No. She don't want to come up. Okay, I can't help you with that. We don't have any. It's all gone. You have to eat what you have. I'm sorry. Anyway, okay, Iris, cool. So, I missed something. White one and spray painted it to match brown. I don't know what that's about, Lesa. I missed something. But if you're not a coffee drinker, take a tea bag. Take an electrolyte drink mix. I was telling you guys how I don't really love Element and I'm allergic to the flavored ones. But I know in some situations having a little bit of that electrolyte mix, and the safest for me is the unflavored raw one from Element, LMNT. That keep them one of those packs in the first aid kit in the car. My first aid kit has Benadryl because I'm crazy allergic. My first aid kit also has, take a deep breath, I was diagnosed with MS, has a 4-day steroid treatment in it. That's prescription, specific for me, because you can't use an EpiPen on me. So that's in my emergency kit. That goes with me everywhere, just in case. Have something like some ramen noodles. Let me tell you, if you're starving, cold water and ramen noodles and wait 20 minutes and you can eat it, okay? You won't die. It's not fabulous. It's a super budget thing, but it'll work, okay? Get some chomps or some Paleo Valley meat sticks. If you can afford them, I need to talk to this company. Get some carnivore bars if you can afford them, because they're pemmican. They'll last. Have a bottle of honey, maybe carefully stashed away, because it's medicine in many different forms, right? Because you can use it on a cut. You can have a few meals in your vehicle all the time. Not something that's going to spoil. If you eat granola bars, take granola bars. If you can eat peanuts and stuff, I wouldn't touch them, but throw a couple Snicker bars somewhere. The chocolate's going to melt off of them, but you get my drift. Put something food-wise in your vehicle. Put something drink-wise in your vehicle. Put something to eat them out of or drink them out of. I have, put an old yogurt, put a few things in an old yogurt container. I don't mean put them in individual ones, but get a bigger one, right? A small sour cream container size. Make that your emergency food thing. Put in some drink mixes, some coffee, some, I don't know, instant tea in a little baggie. I don't know. Some kind of flavor for your water. I don't even know. Put a Sawyer water filter in there. Get a couple of these. This is when silicone makes sense to me, okay? Get a couple of Sea to Summit silicone cups. Their new ones are mostly stainless steel on the inside. Or get a couple UCO, this company. Get a couple of their cups that smash, right? Make sure you have a couple little water bottles in the car. And once you drink the water out of the water bottles, take a knife and cut them, and they'll make a little glass, a cup. I'm just saying, a couple of days. You want that with you, whether you get on a plane, whether you are driving in Apache County, whether you live in your van. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen. My son is in Arkansas. He said the tornado was the closest one that he's experienced. He had one go over the top of his shop where he works. They're fine. Okay? But just know, you don't know what's going to happen. This can be a lid. You can do things with these. I'm just saying, just have something always with you. Doesn't have to be a big pocketbook you take in the store with you every day, but you could figure out a way. My little red, where is it? My little red first aid kit always has a stick of coffee, because if I have an allergy attack and I can't find Benadryl, coffee will help, okay? So it always has a stick or two of coffee. It always has a couple of Band-Aids, Benadryl, wipes, like wet wipes for your hands, and wipes for my screen of my phone. It always has I can't take ibuprofen or Benadryl, so it's not in there. It does not have my prescription pill bottle with the steroids. That is in a pill bottle. I carry that separately because I haven't told many people about it or how to do it. So I agree with you. I see Donna Kay's thing coming up. Yes, always have some of something with you. Now, I love the little, I don't have them right here. They make these little tiny Ziploc bags that you can write on that are for pills. They will hold enough hot chocolate mix for one drink. It will hold your favorite instant coffee. It will hold powdered milk enough to make a drink. It will hold enough pills for months. It will hold a few vitamins. It will hold a mini sewing kit. When I hiked on the Appalachian Trail, they came in a pack of 100 for like $2 or $3 at Walmart. I used them for all kinds of stuff. I would break stuff up into them. It would hold a snack of candy for, I think, I don't know, some of you who are diabetic will know this better, but some diabetics want to always have something with sugar just in case. One of those little pill packs will take a couple of little candies. If you can handle them, some Altoids, mint, they have sugar in them, but mint, they're good. I'm just saying. Oh, Beth. Wow. Long Island Pine Barrens fire. I don't even know about this. So sorry. I don't even know about it. Okay. And your dad's driving the tanker. But you know what? Your dad knows the road and he knows what he's doing. That's why he's doing it and not somebody younger. Oh, good Lord. Okay. So yes, pray for those people too. Didn't know about that. But in a minimalist sense, your needs, you got to make sure you're okay. So you might need to help somebody else. Make sure you're okay first to do the stuff you need for you to be okay. and then put a few extras in. Um, if you can have a small battery pack that can keep a phone charged in an emergency, or a small radio, those are good, but I'm not telling you to take them all with you. I Where did I see the thing the other day? I don't know where I saw it. I got one of these the other day. I paid about $15 for it. Kelsey at work was ordering one for herself off of Temu, and I said, "How much? Would you order one for me?" I'm not in love with this. I will tell you that. It has a good flashlight on it, and it's got a compass. This would be good for in the car. Yes, it goes in my bag for work, but it's not my favorite of anything. Okay, but because it can has the solar panel, it can get full in a day in the sunshine. Okay, and then it can charge a phone. I don't know how many times because I haven't used it that much, and of course this one didn't even say how many milliamps. I would rather have an Anchor brand. Okay, but I didn't want to spend. I accidentally lost the one. It almost caught on fire. Somebody bumped it at work, and the plug got bent, and it was $45, and I felt so bad about it that I didn't want another one right away. So I was like, at least this, I can keep it on the dash in the car, and at least I can get the phone charged once. Okay, so that's what you want in your vehicle, just in case. Also, always have some kind of blanket. Put in those Mylar emergency blankets. Make sure there's one for everybody that rides in your car. Mylar emergency blankets will save your butt. I have used Mylar emergency blankets for more stuff than you can imagine. Okay, it'll keep the sun off of you. It'll keep you dry. It'll keep you warm. Just take them. Okay. Just put emergency blankets and hand warmer packs in your car. Have those in there for every seat in your vehicle. It's worth it, okay? I have emergency sleeping bag Mylar. So they're orange on the outside so they could see you from a plane, and silver on the inside. If it's cold at night and you get stuck somewhere, I've slept with those on. They will make your feet and your pants wet, or whatever you have. It'll make it wet. It will, but it'll save your ass. I also have an older fleece sleeping bag liner that Wendy uses it as her blankie in the car, but that stays in the car in this area. You never know when you're going to have to spend a night in the car. So, or have to leave the car and whatever. Now, my preferred is to make sure I have a backpack with everything I own so I can exit the car and get home. I was not prepared like that when my engine blew, and it took me 6 months to get home. So, because I had stuff that I couldn't afford to lose. So that has changed. I'm going back to my roots. By the way, I did get a new cooler. The refrigerator is still for sale. It is still at stands at the office. I have it up for sale for $95. It is an Alpacool C12. It has all the original stuff. It looks brand new. It basically is new. I have lightly used it. They're $200 new. It's $95. If somebody wants it, please show up. I would like to have that money because I already bought the replacement before I sold it. Normally, I would sell it first and then buy the replacement, but I decided not to. I bought, as you may have noticed, the Ninja Frost Vault 30. The Frost Vault has a drawer in it. This thing is the bomb. When did I put that video out? Monday or Tuesday? That cooler has been in the car with 1 7-pound bag of ice in it for a week. Yes, it's been cold here, but it's also been warm in the car. When the sun hits the car, the inside with the windows rolled up gets kind of warm. It still has ice cubes in it this morning. That's been a week, a solid week with ice cubes. The stuff in the drawer stayed cold. It was raw hamburger. Raw hamburger was in that cooler a full week, cold in the drawer. I think I'm going to love this cooler. I was able to get the white one. That's why I chose to buy it now before I sold the other stuff, because the white ones are harder to get. It comes in white, gray, and like black or dark colored. And I wanted a white cooler. I live in Arizona. Come on, people. And the plan is, I love the handles on this stuff. It's not people's reviews said how heavy it was. It'll be heavy when it's full of stuff, but honestly, it's not that heavy compared to what I've had before. So I'm really, really, really happy with this cooler. I will be making some kind of insulated cover to further go over it. It might be neoprene. I don't know yet what I will use for fabric. I will probably add, in the cover I make, I will probably add some pockets so that I can add things like an alcohol stove or a couple of dishes or a little grill, a flat fold grill or something, so that if it's in the car with me, it's always ready to go for something. So I will probably do that. Very, very happy with that. But anyways, yes, this, I have already charged my phone with it once, okay? But it's certainly taken its time getting charged. Well, it's not in the sunshine right now, so I need to go put it in the sunshine and let it charge up. I don't know what else to tell you right now. What else would you guys like to know about today? We're down to 39 people. It's been almost 2 hours, so it's kind of appropriate that we start to get done. Some people have left already. And I got a couple of projects for this afternoon. If it's about 11:30. If I get a couple of pieces of clothes washed and on the clothesline, they ought to dry between the breeze and the sunshine in a couple of hours. So I'll probably get that done before 1 o'clock. So, oh, my emergency radio for the moment is this little one you guys have seen before. It's also a speaker. Yes, Miss Donna. Prayer, we will pray about your cold going away. My being sick lasted really about a week, but it's over. I'm fine. It took a couple of days when I went back to work before it felt over, but I'm doing good again. So hopefully yours is like that, Donna Kay. I guess I haven't kept up with my siblings much since my mother passed. We spoke periodically. They seem to be doing okay. They're starting to have the letdown. Yes, Beth, I agree with you. I'm not going to leave mine in the enclosed car to charge on the dash. I thought when I'm driving I could put it on the dash, but I don't. I I saw a car after somebody left one of those little green propane tanks in the car. I saw how it exploded and blew the top off their car. So yeah, I ain't trying to. I mean, this wouldn't do that, but still, why take a risk, right? So, well, guys, I think we're about done. Have I given you a good minimalist prep info. Don't worry. If it's an emergency, don't worry about clothes. The problem you're going to have is not going to be the clothes. You might want some toilet paper or a bidet if you can get a hiker's bidet that screws on the top of a water bottle. That would help you. But seriously, clothes are the least of your worries in an emergency. You're going to want to make sure you got some pretty good shoes on. But you ought to be wearing some pretty good shoes when you do anything, right? Oh, Donna Kay, 81st. I got my tattoo for my 50th birthday. And I was going to get another one when I turned 60, but I missed it. And so I've never done any more. And then I thought about how probably I shouldn't be doing tattoos because of how I believe. But I already did the one, so I left it. Good. I'm glad it was helpful. Miss Leanna, I missed coming your way this weekend. I like being able to do that thing we've been doing. But because of the roads, I'm just going to stay home. And then I'll go on to work tomorrow and we'll carry on next week. So we love you guys. Take care. Have a good week. Next week we'll come back. Same bat time, same bat channel. Stay safe. Stay healthy. So, yeah, get yourself some things for your emergencies. Just in case, because you never know. I have driven out here where I in my neighborhood. It's been years ago. I've been out here going on 14 years, or coming here that long. But I have plowed water with my car and heard the engine sputter and wonder if I was going to be stuck in the puddle until someone would come. Now that was back when you wouldn't see a car for a week. Now you see a car every hour. But I take my own advice because one time I stopped, so I went through plowing water in one puddle, got to the top of a hill and saw the next puddle. And I drove the road often enough that I knew that I was looking at least 8 inches of water. And I was like, and it was still raining. And I was like, God, I can stay right where I am and just make camp in the car and not worry about it. But if somebody else comes up through here, how am I going to handle this? Oh, and at that time, I had a Lucy eMerge Lucy light. It's the one that has the red light on it, and it can flash SOS. And it was made for marine use, so for boat use. So I was like, if I stay out here, I'll stick that on the roof of the car in case somebody comes up the road while I nap. Or do I drive through? And in the end, I went, okay, drive through it. Just drive through it. I got home. I was okay. But I almost. Yes, thank you, Lesa. I will put dog treats in the wish list. Thank you. All right, you guys have a good week. We'll see you next week. Take care. My hand's dirty.